obviously encourage you in regards to this incredible book, the 21 Refutable Laws of, I think it's what, of leadership, which is amazing. John Maxwell, of course, is, as you all know, is an amazing author. And so what I would ask from all of you and whoever wants to share is, what are you finding in, this first chapter of the law of the lid? Because then you have moved into the law of leadership, success without leadership and things of that nature, correct?
Whoops, I was going to say we did the law of influence, I believe, last week. Is that
Yeah, right. So the law of the lid to your life, and yeah, the law of influence, it deals with leadership. So
exactly.
that's huge. So what can you tell me that you like the best, or what was an aha moment for you, either in that first chapter or even the law of influence with of course, the lid? Anyone want to step up and
y'all can put your hands up, so we would love to see that.
otherwise I might call you out like, come on, Jimmy.
Yeah, right. I think I just did. Elvira, was that a hand up? Yeah, there she is. Okay, Elvira. It went up real fast and back down. I wasn't sure.
So do this first. Tell me who you are and where you're from and how long you've been with the company.
I'm Elvira Bateman from Middletown, Delaware, and I've been with Legal Shield for 23 years.
Awesome. It's nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
All right.
We've met, I just look different because I have different hair now.
I was going to say, did you do a new do? It
used to be black and now it's all platinum. So
there you go. Well, you guys can guarantee that this do will not ever go away, because I'll look like a poodle if I was cut it short. So needless to say. But Elvira, share with me. I'd love to hear it, and with the family here.
Hi, everybody. So in reading the chapter on the law of the lid, what was very interesting was it was the same product, is the same company, tons of customers, great idea. However, the only difference was the two leaders. The original leaders of the McDonald's company could not be successful. And when you look at the example, it's all about leadership. And it's kind of, for me, it's a football week. It's kind of like football teams. When there's big changes, they usually change the head coach, because it's not the team, it's the leadership. So my aha moment is, in looking at my own business, it's time to take a serious look at leadership abilities and what is working and what's not. Kind of hard for me to figure that out myself. So it's time for some leadership coaching.
Awesome. Awesome. Yeah. Thank you for sharing. Yeah, that makes sense. And so when your leader is at an 8, for an example, we'll never get to a 10 if the leader's at an 8. So to your point, the leader, obviously, that was the first one to start McDonald's, his leadership wasn't as high as the gentleman that came in after. So awesome. That was great. Thank you.
Welcome.
Yes, Miss Brenda.
Hi, Katie. I'm so glad you're joining with us tonight. I'm going back, chapter 1. I just did not know. I did not know that you're really not going to be as successful as you can be until you become a leader. I mean, I don't know if am I just silly? I just didn't know that. So that, I mean, just the first chapter right there for me to learn, it's just like the Kroc brothers. They were successful, but they were like stuck because they didn't have the leadership qualities. So that first chapter was very powerful for me.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing. The other thing is when you think about it, and since this is a new year, and I also want to acknowledge that it's Martin Luther King Day, And one of his biggest things is he had a dream, you know? And so my question to all of you as we're talking and going through this is, what is your dream? And have you taken the time to set your goals for this year, to the half a year, to the first quarter of our year? And what is your dream? So when you were talking about goal setting, if you don't write it down and if you don't believe it, and if you're not focusing on it, then you're kind of like an absent-minded wanderer. So what I'm going to encourage you to do is think about that as you are sharing about the law of the lid and leadership, but also leaders do not go through life without goals and a dream and accountability. So that's what another thing that you're going to want to think about is, who is going to be your workout partner and what are your goals? So think about that while we're going around the room. So Mr. Barry Fisher, thank you for raising your hand.
Hello, Miss Katie. How you doing today?
I'm great, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing all right. I want to address one of the questions that John gave us last week when in the area of taking action. He
Mhm.
said and the question that really jumped out to me, it says, what are some of the greatest challenges you face as a leader? And I have three of them. I have one, understanding my limitations to go after my desires. Two, overcoming the fear of sharing information and the opportunity with others. And three, learning to hold myself more accountable, which is taking more ownership.
Okay, those are awesome. So you said something about did you say, I was writing down some things. You said you have written down your limitations. Is that what you said?
Overcoming, yeah, or understanding my limitations to go after my desires.
Okay. So, and then the next one was the fear of sharing.
Overcoming the fear of sharing information and the opportunity with others. And then learning to hold myself accountable, which is ownership.
Right. So can I coach you?
Yes.
So I would first say to all of you, I know you've probably heard the song "Fear is a Liar,"
Mm-hmm.
and what you think about comes about. And I always say fear is false evidence appearing real.
Yeah.
So it's not true. And so that's why what we need to do is replace that fear, which is a lie, with something that is the truth, which is, you were created for success. You were created for family, that you have a company that has a step-by-step program, that if you follow those steps and you're consistent and persistent over time, you will have success. So then the fear hopefully will go away. And then the accountability is really important, that we hold ourselves accountable. But I can tell you, when you have an accountability partner, and I know many of you probably have done that, and I'd love to hear from you as well, if that's the case, because I can tell you, one of the, I guess, claim to fame with having an accountability partner for myself is when Susan Marie Almquist and I were going for, the rings and even the Millionaire Club. We would talk to each other every day of the week, Monday through Friday, for at least 10 to 15, maybe 20 minutes. So it wasn't like our intention was that we would say what our plan was, what went well that day, what didn't go well, and what we were going to do the next day. And we did that Monday through Friday. And the greatest blessing, in my opinion, for us was at the end of the year, we both got the call from corporate on the exact same day that we were inducted into the Millionaires Club. And that was both of us, because we worked in tandem. And I tell you that because a workout partner is really instrumental in celebrating your wins and encouraging you when you have a bad day. So you're not in business by yourself, because you have that accountability partner. So that would help you, I think, Gary, with some of the ownership of your steps that you're taking, if you don't have an accountability partner, that's been one of our 10 core commitments forever. And I've been with the company for 26 years. So that might be something to put on your to-do list to help you to get to where you want. You're muted.
Katie, I've been around too for 23 years, so I understand the 10 core commitments. Just finding that right person to really stick it out with you is the main thing. Yeah.
Right. And with that, I would say, make the commitment. And if that other person doesn't do it, then, you get back into the batter's box and you start asking someone else who wants to make that run for whatever level they're at. And, find another partner that would be willing to go do that run with you. You were muted again.
I said okay. Yeah.
Does that help?
Yep, that helped a lot. Thank you.
You are welcome. All right. Jane.
Yeah, great discussion. I'm going to move it a little forward. Katie, I don't know if you know if he gave us an assessment for these. Back here, I'll put it. I forgot to send it. I put it in the chat and in a PDF that John told us to go through, rate ourselves on a scale of 1 to 10, add it all up, and at the end of it, you divide it by 21 and you get your number. And so one of the questions in the second chapter, the law of the influence, law of the influence. One of the questions that really struck me, and I'm going to the end, it's a really short chapter. For me, it's on page 21, was what must you change in your current thinking to make you more open to improving your leadership in the future? And one of the best things that I've done beyond anything that I've known in this company is being on the Monday Leaders. MondayLeaders.com. That's Elizabeth Gardner and Coach Fard Bell. Some of the most powerful training we have ever had. If you're not on it, get on it is all I know. It starts at 10 a.m. Eastern time on Mondays.
So Jane, why don't you put it in the chat so everyone will know
Okay, yeah, I
time,
will.
place, and where.
Yeah, and I mean it is. They keep preaching this to us that and in a good way, that we have to change. We're all trying to do all this activity, do activity. But when you're doing the wrong thing, but you don't know what to change, or you're not doing, you're not doing enough, just do more. But most of us, we've been here a while. You've heard, I've been here 16 years, you're here 20 years, you're this, that. We need to change who we are. Thank you, Teresa. Put it in there.
Yeah. Thanks, Teresa.
Yeah, that is such a, I don't know if that works or not, Teresa. I know that I have MondayLeaders.com. That's what I use. So I don't know, maybe either one of those will work. Okay, mine's right, Teresa said. So it's just MondayLeaders.com. I'll take Teresa, I'm taking yours out, nothing personal. I just erased that. Okay, so anyway.
I was trying to take it out. You beat me to the punch.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Teamwork. It's always so great. The team that teamwork makes the dream work.
What I've noticed is that it's really all about me getting better. It's not about me. It's about me becoming a better person, me becoming that person that is going to be the leader. It will show up when I become that person, and I'm not there yet. And how do I know that? Because the people aren't there, and it's actually quite easy. So that's where I am right now.
Awesome. Well, it's all about fine tuning, right? It's about the inches that we need to dial in. It's not obviously shooting for, like my background, the mountain. You want to start at the base where you can fine tune those skills. And all of us, many of us that have been here since 1902, it feels like, that we all have the ability and the need to obviously not get sedentary in thinking that we can't learn something even at this point after 23, 25, 26 years in the company. We can always learn something from someone. So, and when you have that accountability partner and then you plug into some of the leadership calls, I mean, there is no shortage of calls in our company for whatever it is that you are looking for. There's something every day regarding something to make you stretch or to make you grow and to help you to be successful in our business. But remember, doing all that is really important. But if you don't get on the field, you know, we can all of a sudden get very comfortable with just going and learning and learning and learning. But if we're not discussing what Legal Shield is and how it can help a family, or recruiting, someone needs an opportunity to make some money in 2025, where we're all going to thrive. So the year is, you know, we've been talking about that, is 2025 is the year to thrive. So this will obviously help you, and by having conversations with each other and just saying, okay, what are you doing that I'm not doing that I might need to do? So that's all awesome. So thanks, Jane.
And I also loved the 5 myths, especially the entrepreneur myth in that chapter. Very powerful. We are not all leaders just because we call ourselves entrepreneurs, right? So
Right. And some people are not comfortable and will never be comfortable, or that's just not who they are. That it's not everyone, like you said, is going to be a leader, but you can take ownership of where you are in your own personal development and your financial development by doing Legal Shield, and have a workout partner that you can at least throw things back and forth to each other and make it intentional. That can only help you do better in your business, whatever that looks like, whether you're a leader or not. So great point, Jane.
And to that point, Katie, Robert Bagley in Louisville, Kentucky.
Yes, I was just about to call on you, Mr. Bagley. Nice to see you.
Most of my life, I have been in a support role, a behind the scenes type person. So the idea of leadership was really foreign to me when I got into Legal Shield a few years back. And it's been really interesting following John Hoffman's giving us those 21 characteristics to rate. I put it out to 3 other people besides myself, and one of them never did respond. Very good friend for 25 years, and he didn't respond, but that's okay. The other 2 rated me much higher, or significantly higher than I did. I rated myself as a 5.9, and they came in at 7.5 and 7.6. The really interesting thing is I cannot find my original scoring. So I did it again and came up with a 6.7. So nice. I could see the influence of those other scores impacting me.
Which is awesome, and an awesome exercise to do is you go to those people that, you know you and have known you, and see your growth and see who you are and where you've been to where you are. And those numbers are going to help you to just continually grow. And, and a lot of times we're our hardest critic. Would you agree, all y'all? We are our hardest critic.
Yes.
Sometimes we need to hear from someone else that is going to say, I see this in you as a leader. I see this in you as A, B, C, and D. And I mean, it's very much, what do I want to say? It's endearing, and it's almost sometimes for all of us, for the most part. I mean, I sometimes get shocked when people will say, I see this in you, and you're like, I never expected to see that. It's like, wow, tell me more, because I need to learn more. What am I doing that you see that I'm not seeing? And it helped me to appreciate that and learn. So that's awesome. That's great.
Thank you.
So keep doing that. I mean, like, you might want to do that every other month or once a quarter even, to see, and maybe even get, some input from people that you're, like you have, you say Jimmy, me, and Jane doing it in the month of January, but you might have Teresa and Barry and Bob doing it in the month of, June. So it gives us chance to grow and get better and have other people give us input.
One of the tweaks that I've included was, I think it was Coach, I can't remember who it was, Barry Singh, who was talking about using the 1 minute survey. And I've started doing that. So I've tweaked what I'm doing in that way. Awesome.
Perfect. Thank you for sharing. That's all awesome for 2025. Mr. Jimmy Tay.
All right. Thank you, Kate. You
Yeah.
know, one of the things I was thinking, on the slaughter lit and the difference between the McDonald brothers and Ray Kroc is, even though the McDonald brothers were successful and they are familiar with how franchises work, from what I read, it sounds like their thinking was not that big. They were comfortable that, because they were so successful, they were comfortable and all that. Whereas when Ray Kroc walked into that restaurant, it said that, he could picture and vision, hundreds of these milkshake machines and all this. So his vision was much larger. Now, where he got that vision, it didn't go into the detail. And I remember I saw that movie. I think it's called The Founder about Ray Kroc. It was so many years ago. I can't remember. But what I'm relating to us here in Legal Show, and this is something that was driven home. I mean, I have heard it mentioned many times, as a matter of fact, Jane mentioned it earlier, and you also said there's no shortage of places we can go and learn about leadership, whether it's Elizabeth Gardner's Mother's Leaders Call or our own Platinum and all that, but things that we have to plug in. And one of the lines that was reinforced for us again Saturday at the Houston Super Saturday is to be in the room and earn the ability to get in the room. And the person who said that is, one of the 40 under 40s on Team New Vision, Marcus Twine. He used to be the regional manager in Houston. He qualified as a double platinum in December, and he had this one lady, Dr. Sonia Lowe. She started with Legal Show at the end of June of 2024. So 5 months, more or less. She made platinum in 5 months and earned her 100K ring in 5 months. And that's what, at first Marcus said he wasn't sure if he wanted to run for it, but when Dr. Sonia said, I'm running for platinum, he said, I don't have any choice, But yeah, going back to the thing about being in the room, was that he said it several years ago. He was at a point, he had been in a Legal Shield, I think, for about 13, 14 years, and it kind of like, he found himself kind of plateau and things, was not going as like he wanted to. And then his sponsor, Guy Cundiff, who I personally know in South Florida, encouraged him to attend this conference, but it's I can't remember the gentleman's name. And Marcus said, I could barely afford to attend a conference, but I found a way to get there. And because I was in the room, the information I received from the speaker really changed my thinking, made me think bigger. And also with Dr. Sonia Lowe, she said that, you also have to humble yourself, because she said she's old enough to be Marcus's mother, because as a matter of fact, he's about the same age as her son. But she said she had to humble herself and listen to someone who's younger than her and plug into the system that Legal Shield has. And that's what made her successful, allowed her to earn her 100K ring in 5 months, became a platinum. As a matter of fact, she said on the last day of December, she had one associate that made manager in 2 hours. That, I think when she said that, I think everybody's eyes opened. I mean, we've heard some, we've heard of some people on Jason Bimchi's team, like Chino Nguyen, who qualified as ED in 23 days. But yeah, I have not heard anybody qualify for a manager in 2 days, but it is possible. Just because Legal Show gives us 20 days doesn't mean we have to take 20 days. And it's just, the bigger we think, the more we hang around leaders that think like that, we can instill that on our other team members and, you know, that experience. Because like Dr. Sonia's team now, I mean, it's going very rapidly, and she's going to give the Jason Bimster a run for his money. You
That's
know?
awesome.
Yeah.
So those examples are always good. And I would encourage all of us, obviously, to, you know, set your goals and follow the 10 core commitments and find your workout partner. And, you know, just look at the end of the day. If we had a brick and mortar building, this is something that you could do every day for yourself, is at the end of the day, if you had a cash register, you would be closing out the register. And so at the end of the day, you can look at, okay, what did you say you were going to do at 8 o'clock in the morning and what actually did happen at the end of the day? And if you are successful in at least some of it, that's something to celebrate. But if you fall off the track, maybe evaluate what took you off the track, and so you don't fall back into that the next day and start over. So you're basically holding yourself accountable. So if you check out at the end of the day and you go, okay, how many calls did I make for a small business owner? How many calls did I call for people that are looking for another stream of income or a primary income that I could share with them the opportunity? And how many, you know, employee benefits or companies have I called to share this incredible benefit that on an average, you know, 50% of the people will participate in it, even if the company isn't paying for it. And that's how the majority is. But, you know, you start your day knowing what you're going to do. And at the end of the day, you check out and go, okay, what did I get accomplished? And of course, to your point, Jimmy, about, you know, just all of these people that are hitting these marks are great examples of what can be done. And so you sometimes have to think and ask yourself, am I thinking too small? When in fact, there's people that are doing it even more than what I'm doing. But try never to compare yourself, but just to have it as a motivation that you too can stretch yourself and just check yourself out at the end of the day and go, okay, how many people did I call? How many companies did I call? How many people did I pursue to become a partner in this business with me? And then if you have an accountability partner, then you can share that with them. So things are happening a lot faster, it
Yeah.
appears, obviously, with all of the things that we're hearing and seeing, with all the different acknowledgments and, you know, people at the end of the year with all the double platinums that took place is huge. And so if they can do it, why not you?
Right. You know,
Right.
and the other thing that, as you were speaking, that about being accountable to yourself, and all, reminds me of what Verna Heath always says. She said when she first started with Legal Shield, she was a single mom with, I think, what, 4 kids or something like that. So her goal was make money by noon. Because, you know, first of all, as a single mom, she knows that she can only work a certain length of time before the kids come home from school and all that. So she said, that was my goal, make money by noon. And that's what that's what drove her to keep going. And, you know, I'm sure she held herself accountable. You know, what did I do to make sure that I earn some money by noon, you know?
Yes. Yeah, that's awesome. And see that you can do it. You can do it part-time, you can do it full-time. You just have to get on the field and swing the bat and shoot for the fence. But if it gets out to center field, you're still on the field. So that's awesome. All right. Regina, where are you from, dear?
It's Regina.
Regina. Well, that's
Yes,
And where are
Regina,
you from?
like in Canada.
All
Yes.
right. Do you say
Okay.
A as well?
Pardon me?
I said, do you say A as well, like they do in Canada, A?
No, but yeah,
Oh,
this
okay.
Regina.
Awesome.
So I printed off, Jane, printed off the assessment sheet, and my workout partner and I, Alexis, we went through it. So what does the scores mean though? I mean, so we got our scores and we helped each other, and we assessed each other and told each other what we thought our strengths were. But what do the scores mean? Is there anywhere in the book that says,
Yeah,
if you're at a certain score,
No, but it's giving you an overall look. Are you a 10 as a leader? And when you see your score, well, no, none of us are really, if we're really honest with ourselves, no, we're not. You'll see,
Okay.
I came out with an 8 something yeah, I know there are areas I am not a 10, no. So it's for you personally to see, where do I rate myself 1 to 10 as a leader? And in all these 21 areas, when you add them all up, where am I?
Okay. Okay.
And
And it was,
John will go over it next week.
And it's a gauge,
okay.
Gina, for you to
Mhm.
start for a starting point and where you want to go. So it's always just kind of like looking at where you are in this assessment today. And then maybe next month, look at where you are at that point, because hopefully there's growth between now and then. So you're on this constant and never ending improvement process with the assessments by taking them, how often ever you want to, if it's just once a month or if it's once a quarter. But it's all about the moving up and moving on and growing as a person and as a leader in all these different areas, and seeing where you're strong and where you're weak and where you need to sharpen your axe in that area.
Yeah, and it was interesting because Alexis saw, she rated me higher in one area, and then I was like, okay, she sees me that way, but I don't. And I had to be really honest though and say, I don't really think that's where I'm at because of this and that and the other. Like, that I need to study more in this area to get the results, to reach the goal that I want. So I need to study more in that area. So, but it was good. And I printed off like about 5 sheets so that I can come and do it more than, probably once every quarter at least.
That's awesome. Yeah, because you'll see where you're growing and where you aren't growing, and
Mm-hmm.
what you need to do to take another step and get to the nether level. And it's a great way to, because so many of us are visual learners. So when you look at those numbers today and then you do it again in 3 months and you see the numbers that they are that day, you're going to see preferably and hopefully growth from where you were today to where you are in 3 months.
And I think what I'd like to do is really just get quiet and take it again in the next couple of days, just to make sure that I'm being honest with myself.
That's great.
Yeah.
Great.
Thank you.
You are so welcome. Thanks for sharing.
We still have Calvin, and I think he'll be the last one because John likes to keep it to around a half hour. So Calvin, you're the last one.
Okay, thank you. Calvin from Niceville, Florida. I just wanted to comment on Regina's question. This is all based on the law of the lid, which means that if you're a 10, then you have reached the maximum level for a leader in that area. However, I'm not a 10. I don't know how many people are consider themselves as 10s. And I came up personally, I'm like you, I came up with a 4.6, but two other people that have rated me, after you average everything out, you get one number. And that's the number that you are at, as a total leader. So other people have rated me at 7s and 6 points, whatever. So I'm more critical of myself than most other people are. So that's basically how I see it. As John Maxwell talked about it at one of the conferences in Ohio about the law of the lid. So that's what I had to say. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. And you guys are doing an awesome job. Thank you, and keep it up.
Great job, Calvin. Appreciate that. So here's what I would encourage you guys to do to keep it to 30 minutes is, I don't know if you've done this, but really look and, plan, pray, make it a commitment to yourself of where do you want to be and how do you want to show up when you show up prayerfully and believingly that you're going to be in Baltimore, and that where are you going to be when you get to Baltimore, because that's, right at about 90 days from today, maybe one extra week. But setting your goals and your sights where you start with the end in mind and work it backwards of what is it that you have to do to achieve what it is that you want to achieve. And if you don't write it down and if you don't share it with someone, it's then kind of like just a dream. Whereas if you're looking at it on a daily basis, it's hopefully going to be a motivator for you to take the steps to do what you need to do to hit the goals. And sometimes that sounds really elementary, but I think sometimes with us being around as long as we have, at least for myself, I need to continually tell myself, okay, what are you going to do and I call it the 5 F's: my faith, my family, my finances, my fitness, and what am I going to do for fun? So, and you can do it any way you want, but when it comes to even Legal Shield, where do you want to be? Are you an associate right now? Are you a senior associate? Are you a manager? Where do you want to end up when you show up in Baltimore? So that's why I wanted to start with Martin Luther King's, that he had a dream. Well, what is your dream and what is your focus between now and when we get to Baltimore? So we can celebrate when we see each other and give each other all high fives and see what we're going to do in the next quarter of this year. Sound good?
Sounds good. And
Sounds great.
Next week is the law of process, which is a
Thank you.
huge one for all of us. I can't wait to talk about process. So you all have a great week, and we'll see you around the corner.
Awesome. Have a great week. God
Thanks,
bless.
Katie.
Good night.
Thank you.
It was
Thank
great to see
you.
all.
Bye.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Happy
Bye.
Everybody have a
Thank you.
great day.
Bye.